Alright, taking a step back. Let's do Cedar Pines Village next. It's gonna be the one. Search. Cedar Pines sounds like an oxymoron, right? Let's see. Alright, black tees. Wow, that's long. It's a big difference between the two sets. Okay. Pin 1. Okay. 530 par 5. Another course. It's like the second course that is using fairway. Hey, Dion. Another course using fairway to connect, I guess, as a card path? Does card paths look so crappy? Some houses back on the cliff there. Uh-oh. Nice. Okay. Well, it's par 5, so the green's okay. A Cedar commonality. Um, I I think it's common because it's the name of a tree that's in the game. So you'll see cedars, pines, maples, stuff. I think a lot of courses are going to carry names like that. Alright, let's see if we can hit this. I don't know if I'll reach this. Nope. Coming up short. Bunkers look pretty good. One in the back could stand to be raised. The back of it could be raised a little bit, but seems okay. Come on, go. As far as the um, the planting is, I think it's just because there's limited trees. There aren't that many trees to choose from. All right, so a few things about this. Um, I wish the green and the green complex were elevated just a little bit so that I could see all the bunker work in front of the green from the tee. Like, I don't see it. It's there, but I don't really get a good look at it. So you're obstructing the view. Um, and the cliff here, it's clear that we took a very sharp-edged brush and just cut it to sink it way down to make it look like a cliff. But what happens is you get this stretchy texture and it looks really unnatural. Right? Compare that to what this looks like over here. Just kind of, right, the rock here, it's not stretched and it's got texture to it. And that's the big difference. Just be careful with that. Downhill. That's too. I don't know. Well, had the right club, just a bad swing. Boreal, I guess. Doesn't look boreal. Is it Swiss? What theme is this? Can't be Swiss. Most bunkers say it's not boreal. But there's no. Alright, so this bunker on the right is too close to the green. If we pulled it back by so that it sits there and in this area, my cursor I think shows. But if we were to have this green come in and the edge of this green be here and come out this way and come up to here, then it could be flattened and sunk in, and then this area, let's zoom back in, this area here, all of this, which is now half grass and half sand, would be all grass, and dig down into the pad of the bunker. So you have the one low side where the sand sort of just sits on top of the grass, and then a high side, and the pan is flat, but then you have the high wall on the other side. I think that would be a really cool look for that bunker. I left myself in the most awkward yardage. It helps if you hit the pin. That's a cool look. Look. I wish the tee box was lifted a little bit so that I could see the entire hole from the tee. Because this is a cool hole. Like, it looks good. Alright. So here, the fairway edge is a little wavy. I think this is because the waypoints are too far apart. In my experience, that's usually the reason why I get it. So just this little area here, looks like this waypoint here and then this one over here are probably a little too far apart. We should put one in between. Maybe that'll help with the waviness. Well, this pin is really tucked to the front, but it's tucked in front of the fairway. It shouldn't be that big a deal. Yeah, if the waypoints are too far apart. Now, I'll point out that that is different from TGC2, where there was a different problem with splines. Um, I'll talk about that in a sec, but I want to look at this waterfall and this running creek here. I like the idea of the waterfall here. It's pretty cool. Looks pretty good with the running water. I like it. Um, so what happened in TGC2 is if the waypoints were, well, I shouldn't say if they were close. Any waypoint would could have this little flaw in it where the spline would sort of um, bottleneck uh, down and kind of sort of minimize those. You'd have to fix them. They were a pain in the neck to fix. And they were such a hassle. In order to avoid them, you used as few waypoints as possible. So there was an adjustment coming over to this game. Oh, see, I can't clear this now. Coming over this game where we need to use many waypoints to get it smooth. A few options for that second shot, which is interesting. The fairway might be a little too wide, but green is tiny. This is a nice looking hole. Really looks good with the haze and the sun hitting right at this. Kind of that hill looks pretty good. It captures the shadow really well. This hill here, it's small and subtle, but captures the light really well. I think this bunker here could be pulled just a little bit away from the green, and then take this area right here and lift it up, and then you have sort of a bunker that's a little bit more interesting. Same thing here, it's a little better. Um, just raise the whole thing up a little bit. It's sort of look like we sunk the front instead of sunk raising the back. Hmm. It looks good. Oh no, not a fast. Ugh, it's lame. Pretty cool recessed area here with the trees, the bushes, the rocks, um, rolling over into this, you know, out into this lake. Bridge looks pretty cool. I assume that a full Master Club will reach that. Yeah, it'll reach it. I will not. which means I need to lay up to here. Uh-oh. Alright, take the long shot. I like the options here. I think this green is small. This green is really small. Especially for a pin that might be here. I just don't have a play at it with these clubs. And that's not fun. I like the idea, I just think the green is a little small for that. I'm on the paw train. I'm on the paw train. In this hole. What happened? Like, so far. I... I don't know that I like the little homes here. They're unpolished. It's just, well, I guess they're cabins. They're just there. There's nothing else around them. It's kind of how, there's a carport near one. But it just seemed like they're just there. Like, it just plopped in. Bunch of houses. Have some options on this. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, that was terrible. I didn't even look at that for more than a half a second. Of course I missed it. Alright, part 3. Alright, these rocks. I'm not buying the large rocks here. Why would they not be down here and around this green, and where do they come from? And I'm not buying that these belong here. And, oh, you're killing me with this green. Guess that worked. Alright, bookended the front nine with birdies. Jeez. Alright. Can I hit to that spot? No. Alright, I'm in like the perfect spot here. Stop dead. I was not expecting it to stop dead there. Damn it. Wow, this green is really small for 490-yard hole. I know there's no houses around it, but it's really tiny. I'm trying to get a long iron to stop on that green. It's gonna be tough. Everything seems very spread out on this course. There are a few common places, like this, I don't know what to call it, cliff, which I don't think looks realistic, but looks like you just took a, you know, big that sharp circle and sunk everything down. Will I be hosting the reveal shows? I'm assuming yes. Yeah, I will. I don't know if I'll be able to do everything on stream. And that's going to depend on my time, which is limited. This just feels really wide for no reason. Just kind of, here's a fairway and hit it here, which makes it feel like a municipal. Just don't see any risk in any of those shots. Ugh. I have no words. Oh, Island Green. It's very low. Probably a good thing. Big dock. Interesting. I like the bridge in the back. So, you come from the last hole, you hit the green, and then you walk across and you walk back to where the green. Okay. Perfect. Go in. Oh, almost. That's exactly what I was trying to do. Hit that hill behind the hole. I like that. I like that. There's an option to do that. Nice hole. There's nice bunkers. Round. I don't think we've seen round bunkers like this, but looks nice. Trick shots. Trixies look nice. Just, I don't know that this fits on the rest of the course. These round bunkers. This green is also tiny. Oh, that was a bad shot. That was bad. Just like putting. And then, all right, again, same thing. I think earlier, fourth hole, third hole, same thing. I'd like to see, maybe it was the last course. I don't even know. But steep downhill, I'd like to see the green complex raised so we could see it from the tee. I couldn't tell you if it was if it was the second hole or if it was the last course. Oh, almost. Almost. Oh, oh well. Goes down as a two-putt par. No, let's look at these homes. All right, these homes are a little better in that they have lawns and fences. They're not great, but at least they look better from a distance. Let's. It was the second hole. Couldn't remember if it was this course or the last one. 521, par 4. I know it plays downhill, but I have this tiny green with the runoff in the back. Nowhere to run it up in front. Like, this should be a par 5. This is a par 5. Short, but the idea is there's no way. I don't think there's a way I can hold this green. I just don't think it's possible. Don't like this hole as a par 4. I know par essentially is meaningless, but because of other stats that other metrics like greens in regulation, stuff like that, it matters. It's the only reason it matters. All right, last hole. Oh, in the valley, and again we had this stretching texture issue, especially on the left side. It's a little. Now we have rocks. We haven't really had a lot of rocks. I have no. I think it's the second or third hole with no bunkers by the greens. I don't know. I don't know. Don't know how I feel about it. Again, another tiny green for the shot that I have to hit. 199 yards down the hill. This green is really tiny. It went 11 yards in the air because I hit a fast. Swear at this game. Some weird decisions the HB made with the mechanic there. That fast bonus, quote unquote, helps. All right. Pretty interesting course. Um, a lot of holes with options. Subtle mostly, but sometimes overt. Um, I think the bunker sculpting was pretty good. I'd like to see a little bit more aggressive in the bunker sculpting, but overall it was pretty good. Um, the main critique is the scale. Some of the fairways are really wide. Uh, Even the narrowest areas that are they're the risky play, they're still 20 to 25 yards wide, which is pretty easy to hit. Um, and the greens mostly where we had problems were small greens for long approaches. So just as a rule of thumb, the longer the approach is, um, the larger the green should be. So just be careful and make sure that you're measuring out. Um, I thought sculpting was mostly good, um, except for like the cliff, which is the main feature on the course. So on course sculpting, that's the fairways, the greens, the areas around the greens, the tee boxes and that, the bunkers, all pretty good, well above average. Um, but the major sculpting and those are your big hills and um, your cliff sides and all that stuff that they're not quite as good. So I think that's really an area to work on. Um, the other thing too is we didn't bring any other color in. It's green on green on green with a little bit of brown sprinkled in, and that comes down to the choices of trees, the choices of bushes, the choice of grass, the choice of plants throughout. There's um, everything is wooden, with the exception of some brick. Um, there were a couple of houses thrown in, a couple of I guess cabins thrown in, but sort of um, didn't really serve to break it up. There were there was one or two areas where the planting I thought was good. The rest of it was pretty sparse. Just want to see uh, more color brought in and work that way. Maybe bring the lighting down a little bit just to enhance it. Give some holes more of a brighter look and some holes more of a an amber glowish look. Um, I think there's room for improvement clearly, but overall it was pretty good, pretty solid course, fun to play. Um, weren't any places where it made me pull my hair out. Like, oh, I don't like this so much that I don't want to play it. Um, minor stuff on here. Really good job.